Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Ash.
And this is F1 Fanatics. Welcome back to another 10 Reasons Why video, and today we are looking at the kind of elder statesman on the grid, and that is Kimi Raikkonen himself, and why 10 reasons why it was good for him having his move to Alfa Romeo this season. So Ash, we're going to start off with you. What is reason number one?
He's back in a car where he is able to be the number one driver. So we all know that the second seat at Alfa is a Ferrari junior driver, but it gives him that opportunity to actually step up, be the lead driver for a team, which he didn't have the whole time he was at Ferrari, be it with Alonso or Vettel towards the end.
Number two for me is it's overall more relaxing. I think you've seen, you never really do seem to see Kimi Raikkonen tense outside of a race car. Inside a race car, yes, but he generally seems more relaxed than what he was at Ferrari. He is very much leisurely paced. It almost kind of does feel a retirement home for him. But you never know, with 2021, it might kind of re-spurt his interest a little bit in things if he decides to stay on. But yeah, he just seems a lot more relaxed.
One for us, we have been able to continue having the fantastic radio messages. So this season, a couple of classics, the False Indias or whatever they're called, there's one of them. You had in Spa where he was turning around and saying, "Come on guys, stay awake," when they didn't call him in for a pit stop until the very last minute, despite having clear damage from the Verstappen incident. So yeah, one for us on that one.
Number four is Kimi Raikkonen is, as a mentor, very good for the grid. Obviously, he now has vast experience in Formula 1. When he came into racing, Mika Hakkinen was still at McLaren. Now, as he is kind of at the tail end of his racing, he is the only driver on the grid. Actually, no, I believe he's with Vettel and Lewis Hamilton at this, who will come racing next year, will have raced 3 decades. So Alfa Romeo has, by signing this season and performing well, has allowed him to have that one. But he's a fantastic mentor to Giovinazzi, I'm sure. Brilliant.
He's able to enjoy racing again. There's less pressure on him being at Alfa than there is at Ferrari, especially when, obviously, yes, at Monza it's still the home race for Alfa, but the Tifosi are there for Ferrari. It's a pressure cooker environment now where if the performances don't live up to what's expected, there's a lot on you on that one. So to be able to go back somewhere where the pressure's not as high, he's able to just enjoy the racing for what it is, and that's something he's always enjoyed in his career.
Number 6 for me is family. Now, Kimi Raikkonen is a really big family man. I think some of you may have seen on Twitter him sharing kind of videos of his son Robin in a race car that was built for him. I think, remember, the photo was very kind of funny because Kimi was looking down rather confused going, "Did I build that car?" It was just very...
Didn't give him earplugs like Abu Dhabi, did he?
No, he didn't. He's just like, maybe wants him to be deaf and kind of put him off racing. But Kimi Raikkonen is a big family man, and being Alfa Romeo, like we said, away from the pressures of Ferrari, probably allows him to have more time. And if it comes to the end of 2020 and he's still considering, you know what, I might still want to keep racing, the aspect that he's had these 2 years at Alfa Romeo, if another big team for some reason comes calling and he can still put in the performances, he may be relaxed enough with that time that's rejuvenated him, like his time in the World Rally Championship, to keep pushing forward again.
One thing we've seen throughout Kimi Raikkonen's career is he loves to battle, and one thing he has definitely got this season is he has been able to battle in races, because in that Ferrari it was only really them and Mercedes that he was challenging. There wasn't much elsewhere with regards to that, but this year the Alfa has been in competitions with the Haas, Toro Rosso, there's been Racing Point involved in that, and there have been races where he's also been pushing near the front of the grid and battling with the likes of Renault and McLaren. So he's had an opportunity right through.
Number 8 for me. God, I'd jump ahead.
Numbers,
You'll be 9. Even numbers. We kept another world champion on the grid. And obviously, being that world champion back in 2008, Kimi Raikkonen has been, over the past couple of decades, one of the best... 2007, God. Lewis won in 2008. Yeah. Jesus, 2007, where he took it from Lewis on the last race. Unbelievable.
And Alonso.
Right, you'd think I know, as I quite like Kimi, that I do that. Yeah, and he got Alonso as well, because they drew, both Hamilton and Alonso were on the same points, 1 point behind the eventual winner, Kimi Raikkonen, after all his mechanical failures in the early. But the point is, he is one of the best talents to have graced F1 over the past couple of decades. He's, like I said, going to be moving into a third decade next year. It was a great move for him, because he gets to continue racing, and in a sport that he's been so successful in, that must make him feel good.
Number 9, and I think this is a big one, is it gives us an opportunity for next year for Kimi Raikkonen to have the record for the most number of race starts. And when you think about how long he's been in Formula 1, you have to look at it and think he's unlucky to have one world championship,
His early days in McLaren, I think, scarred him. He's always said F1 was never his priority, and he had a lot of mechanical issues. I think it was 2003, he was very close to beating Michael Schumacher that year.
Well, when you look at his career in F1, start of his career, you had Michael Schumacher coming to the end of his absolute dominance, which ended up going into 2 seasons for Alonso. Raikkonen got his world championship, and you'd be thinking, this is an opportunity for him. And what happens? Lewis Hamilton starts on a roll, Jenson Button has a season, and then you just get this sheer dominance of Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull, followed by Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. It's just not fallen kindly for him, really, has it?
It hasn't, and although he is one of the best drivers of his generation, probably a criticism you could put of Kimi Raikkonen is he probably relentlessly doesn't care as much. I think he maybe loves racing, maybe even more than some of them at times. But in terms of the sacrifices to take, he maybe just wants an ice cream.
Yeah. He's been unlucky in the fact that he's moved to teams at either the start of their downfall, or he's left a team just before they've picked up.
Yeah, or in the case of coming into Ferrari again, he was a clear number 2 to Alonso, and then when Vettel came in, he was a clear number 2 again.
He was already in that position, and so he's been unlucky in his career in that aspect. But the one thing that no one can take from him is his experience. And as I said, next season, 11 races in, so I'm trying to figure out the calendar in my head. Potentially Silverstone.
It's around about the Silverstone, not Hockenheim, because that's off the calendar. Hungary part of it. I don't know where Zandvoort falls into it.
Zandvoort's early on. So's Hanoi. So it's around the Silverstone time. It'll be that Kimi Raikkonen will match Rubens and pass him as well for being having the most race starts in Formula 1.
Which, hugely impressive achievement to be in F1 as long as Kimi Raikkonen has been. And the 10th one, a favourite, because it's obviously personal to our channel, in terms of without Kimi Raikkonen signing, and why it was so good for him, because it gave him the platform, because Kimi Raikkonen is a comedic gift that just keeps giving, whether that be radio messages, post-race or qualifying interviews, just his general demeanour in whole. He's quite a funny bloke. So by having him in, he's got his own moment on our channel, which is the Kimi moment of the week in our F1 Fantasy podcast, where at the end of each week, we always dedicate a moment to Kimi Raikkonen that he's usually done something rather amusing to us as F1 fans. But yes, thank you to Katie for this suggestion. Obviously, we asked at the end of our last 10 reasons why, which was why McLaren got 4th in the Constructors in the 2019 season. We asked, what would your suggestions be? So Katie came up with a few. We chose this one, obviously, because Kimi's important to the channel, and also thank you to Kate of Katie's gift. Obviously, we have Kimi Raikkonen signed kind of printed race overalls on our studio wall as well. We'll call it studio. Sounds fancy that way, rather than an attic. Sounds better. But yes, thank you so much for that, Katie. Guys, hope you enjoyed. If you want your 10 reasons why to come in, and we'll throw obviously some other 10 reasons why within over the winter period. But it's a series that we quite like, and we're going to keep going. But Ash, if they are new around here, what can they do?
Make sure to press that subscribe button, because then the videos go into your YouTube inbox, and if you press the bell icon, you'll be notified when one of these 10 things comes up for you to see.
If you've liked today's video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below if there are any more reasons why you think Kimi staying in F1, what move to Alfa Romeo was good for him. But for now, you F1 fans, keep racing.